So I decided to make a video on why I believe in God. And as I started to think about how to explain it, I realized it's kind of complicated in a way because there's so many reasons why I believe in God and reasons that are constantly changing. I mean, even there are things that have happened in the last few days that have grown my faith. And so what I wanted to share with you was kind of the point in my life where I really first started believing in God. I had mentioned before that I was raised in a Christian home. So I really was in church since I was really little. And one thing I know is that there's a huge difference between knowing about something and believing in something. And I loved this quote I heard that kind of made it make sense in a funny way, was that calling yourself a Christian because you're in a church is about the same as calling yourself a cow because you're in a barn. I don't know, I just thought that was funny. Anyway, knowing and believing are very different, right? When I first started to truly believe, I think I was probably in high school, and I went through a couple of years of some really intense difficulties and found myself just very broken at the end of it all. My freshman year in high school, we found out that my mom was an addict and was struggling with addiction, which was had been hidden and was a huge surprise to all of us. And she was in and out of treatment centers for a few years, and within about a 3-year period, realizing that my mom was struggling with that, the addiction, parents being divorced, and then I lost someone really special to me. And I felt, I don't even think broken is the word, more like crushed. My world was completely upside down. I didn't know what to believe anymore. I didn't know what was true. I didn't know who to trust, and nothing made sense. I just felt really hopeless, and I thought, oh, I know how to keep the hurt from ever coming again. I just won't get close to anyone anymore. And that was kind of my way of trying to cope with things. And it doesn't work, by the way, and it's not intended to work. But I shut myself off from a lot of things. And before I continue, I just want to say that my mom has been in recovery and has been sober for over 25 years. She's been a drug and alcohol counselor and helped a lot of people, and our relationship is really good. And that's the good that has come out of it. But there were some years that were incredibly, incredibly difficult, not knowing where she was, not knowing if she was okay. I don't really want to get into all the details, but just to say that it was a struggle. And it was then that I first truly experienced the peace that God can give in the midst of situations that just don't make sense. And because of that time, one of my favorite verses has, and probably always will be, Philippians 4, verses 6 and 7. And just to throw in there too, I was a very fearful and anxious child anyway. And so to throw all that on top didn't help. And anxiety and fear is something that I have struggled with my whole life and probably will. But this says, Philippians 4, 6 and 7, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. So it talks about this peace that transcends all understanding. Nothing would make sense to why you'd have peace, and yet you do. And that's what I started experiencing. And it wasn't every moment, every second, but it was there. And it was like, my world is in chaos, and I don't even know what's right. I don't even know what to believe. So many ways I had felt so much loss, and yet I had this peace. And there's a lot of places in the Bible that God promises peace. There's a lot of promises in the Bible. It'd be fun to do a series on that sometime. But experiencing this peace that surpasses understanding. And it was like, wow, God is real, because there is nothing else that could give me this peace. No reason I should be experiencing it. And there is good news, like I said. My mom has helped a lot of people through that. And God started putting some amazing people in my life to comfort and encourage me. And I look back and I see the people he placed there, and it's like, wow, that was definitely his hand. And I'm very thankful for the people that helped me through that time. So peace for me is just the thing that really stands out. That's where my belief in God started, was feeling his peace.